Welcome to the land of kings and queens. 5 miles of marshland perched on England's southeast coast, Royal St. George's sits at the mercy of Mother Nature. In a game now defined by distance and speed, the Open cares not. Your hubris is lost upon her the wind. Here, champions are measured by strategy and creativity, the ability to see the shot, blind to others. But beware the ground as well. Green giving way to shades of yellow, making firm and fast an understatement. Oh yes, danger lurks, but so too does glory.
I had quite a few pints and a few beers and quite a few glasses of red wine, and it all continued into about 30 minutes ago. So,
for 2 years' time, the Irishman Shane Lowry has happily drank from the jug. But soon, one will join a list of champions synonymous to the sport itself. Each welcoming the challenges of links golf, where numbers and sight lines give way to imagination and feel. To succeed here, one must embrace the historic land that long predates the game played upon it. Every bump and every blemish, each bunker and mound, the contours of the land mirrored by the coveted curves of the claret jug. There is beauty to be found in the struggle of the game's oldest major. The honor of Champion Golfer of the Year, one earned through attrition. So will the winds of history lift you, or will they bring you to your knees? This week, only one will reign royal at the Open.
Shouts to our guy Joe Musso for setting the stage for the Open Championship this week. Back here talking betting, but a golf perspective. We got Nick Bogdanovich, of course, Director of Trading, William Hill US, and Rick Gehman, the host of the First Cut podcast and our Sportsline data analyst. Guys, let's talk about the board right now. Nobody's higher than Jon Rahm at the top. Nick, give me a sense of where you opened Rahm and where he sits a day before the Open Championship.
Yeah, we opened him 10-1. He's now 9-1. I'm hoping to get him back to 10-1 if we can get enough money in the pool to push him back up, but he's just drawing a lot of money, so I probably won't see 10-1 again. But hey, he's the hottest golfer on the planet right now. Just won a major. He was up 6 strokes and they yanked him for COVID. So Rahm is the man. We opened 10. We're currently at 9.
All right. And so are you seeing any other big bets golfer maybe getting some action outside of what we've seen from Rahm?
Well, the second most money is Brooks Koepka. His major record over the last 5 years is far superior to anyone's. He spent a few years on the tour over there too, so he's pretty comfortable. So I can't blame the backers for betting Brooks Koepka, and a couple others deeper in the pack. Oosthuizen and Hovland are drawing pretty big money as well.
All right, Rick, so those that are backing Brooks Koepka, maybe they hope they don't hear what he said about he didn't like the course at Royal St. George's, but his record at these majors is fantastic. Obviously, the Open Championships ahead. What about your pick to win, though? Are you going with Koepka, Rahm, or someone else?
Yeah, let's go with Brooks Koepka. I mean, listen, I think what he says about Royal St. George's and not liking it, that's all part of the shtick. That's so people can start writing him off, and then he can say, oh, look at all these people that wrote me off. I'm going to go out and win this golf tournament. Nick is absolutely right. When you're looking at major championships in the last couple of years, there is no one in the same stratosphere as Brooks Koepka. He's been absolutely dominant in these events. If you look at his recent form, I think most people, with the distractions around the knee injury, the distractions around the feud with Bryson D Chambeau, they don't even realize how good he's been on the golf course. 3 top 5 finishes in his last 4 starts, and 2 of them are majors. I mean, he's getting healthier and healthier every day. He's absolutely locked in, and by his own words, we've heard him say this countless times, there's probably only 10 or 20 guys who can win this golf tournament, and Brooks Koepka certainly believes he's one of them.
Nick, are we seeing any matchup bets action on your guys' end?
Yeah, a couple. One involves Rahm and Rory, believe it or not. I mean, did you ever think you'd see the day where Jon Rahm would be $1.70 over Rory McIlroy? But that's the case. We opened $1.70 up. It's up to $1.80. They're betting Jon Rahm. The other one they're betting really good is Alexander Schauffele and Jordan Spieth. We opened that pick'em, and they're betting the X-Man pretty good. He's up to $1.30. So there's plenty of ways to bet this. Those are a couple of matchups drawing good action, but it's going to be a fantastic tournament despite the time difference.
Rick, you have a best matchup for some of our viewers and players today?
Yeah, absolutely. The matchups are a great way with so many big names. You can get action on a lot of the different big dogs. I'm going with Tony Finau, -162 over Justin Rose. This is a fascinating matchup. Rose has been super reliant on his putter and the short game, things that are normally unsustainable. I think his game is being held up by toothpicks and air right now, and it's just a matter of time before that comes crashing down. And then Tony Finau hasn't played well recently, but his Open Championship history is sublime. 4 trips overseas. He hasn't finished worse than T27, and I know the juice is high, but sometimes, Tommy, it is certainly worth the squeeze.
All right, -160 to -170, depending on when you get it, where you get it. As we start to wrap things up, Nick, give me a sense of any other notable props for this tournament, and where does this one rank from a betting perspective, given we've already seen 3 majors this year?
I think this will come into the 3-hole. The Masters by far is the #1 handle, and then the U.S. Open. People love the Open Championship, but the time difference really hurts the handle. So I think that'll fall in the 3 spot, but still going to have big decisions. As far as props, I like winning score. It's going to be somewhere around 6 or 7 under. So 143.5 is the number. I think it'll be under. I really do. It's just a great course and a great setup and another way to bet it.
I love it. Rick, best bet anywhere on the board?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lucas Herbert to finish inside the top 20. This is a guy that most people here in North America probably aren't aware of. He won 2 weeks ago on the European Tour. He backed it up at the Scottish Open with the top 5 last week. And remember, all the PGA Tour stars went over to get acclimated to the course last week. So it was certainly stiff competition. And then in the 2 starts before that, those were PGA Tour events, and both of them were top 20. So here we have a guy with real winning upside in a worldwide event who has finished inside the top 20 for 4 events in a row. He's feeling it. He's rolling the rock really well. I'm choosing him to finish inside the top 20 at +300.
Lucas Herbert, top 20 at 3-1. Our thanks to Rick Gehman and Nick Bogdanovich. Let's recap Rick's picks here for the Open Championship, as well as some matchup plays. Brooks Koepka, 16-1. Tony Finau over Justin Rose. And as I mentioned, Lucas Herbert, top 20, is Rick Gehman's best bet. We're going to keep Rick around to talk a little bit of DFS. It's DFS time. And as we take a look at goodbyes, Rick, what do we got?
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that I think are super interesting. One is Harris English. He just won a couple of weeks ago, outlasted Kramer Hickok in an 8-hole playoff, and he's been trending in the right direction. But what I really love about his game is he's well-rounded. He gains strokes in all 4 major categories, and when you get to a place like Royal St. George's, you need to have every single skill set under control. So Harris English, great value. And then Joaquin Niemann, 7,700. This is not his first time playing the Open Championship. He played it in 2019, and this is a guy who I think can rely on his shot shape and his trajectory. He is long off the tee. He hits it low. He can shape it in both ways when things get difficult and firm, and when the wind starts kicking up off that coastline in Kent. I think Joaquin Niemann can certainly keep himself in contention.
Both guys with good recent form. Harris English at the Travelers, of course, and Joaquin Niemann at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. How about guys that we consider bad buys?
Yeah, so this is always a little bit scary to do the bad buys because these guys can burn you, but I'm going up with some big dogs here. Bryson D Chambeau, to me, has a lot more questions than he does answers. His game and the style of golf that he plays with a high apex, hitting it very far, that's better for American-style golf, and he has really struggled between 50 and 125 yards on the PGA Tour this year. That's probably a range he's going to be hitting a lot of approaches to at Royal St. George's, and when you're just a little bit off, things can go sideways very quickly. And then Dustin Johnson, 10,400. It's not that Dustin's playing poorly right now. He's just not playing up to his own lofty standards, and this has been going on for 6 months. Outside of his top 10 at Riviera in February, he's only had 1 other top 10 since. That was the Palmetto Championship, probably the weakest field we've seen all year long. So when you're paying a price like $10,400 for Dustin Johnson, I wish I had better form coming in. I wish I had a bit more confidence, but this time around, I do not.
Quickly here, right before we let you go, here, golfers to target.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jordan Spieth and Victor Hovland. Spieth is arguably the best player on planet Earth this year. He's super creative around the greens. He's going to have no problem contending and potentially hoisting another claret jug. And then Victor Hovland does not have that winning experience, or that Open Championship experience, excuse me, but he has won twice on the PGA Tour. He's won on the European Tour. His short game is getting much, much better. These are two guys that I think make a lot of noise at a really good price for this week's Open Championship.
Jordan Spieth and Victor Hovland, both 9K guys coming into this major tournament. Our thanks to Rick Gehman. Rick, certainly appreciate it. Enjoy the Open this weekend. Talk soon.
All right, thanks, Tommy.
I mentioned before, Rick Gehman is the host of the First Cut podcast, DFS, which we just talked about, betting advice, which we just talked about, and round-by-round recaps, which you will get throughout the week. Download and follow the First Cut podcast. Rick Gehman, Kyle Porter, Mark Immelman, Greg Ducharme, and the coach, Jonathan Coachman, and so many others.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.